All right, these are your notes for adding and subtracting simple fractions. So it's basically taking the concept of adding and subtracting simple fractions that you know, that you learned a very long time ago, and we're just adding positives and negatives to it. So it says, how do I add or subtract positive and negative fractions? So the first thing that we want to do is make sure your fractions have a common denominator, just like before. That does not change. If they don't, we're going to rewrite them so that they do have a common denominator. Then we're going to rewrite your problem, bringing everything to the top. This includes the signs, meaning the positive or negative signs, and the operational signs, so add or subtract. Remember, we're going to keep our denominator the same, use your integer rules to solve the top, and then we're going to simplify if needed. So on here, I've got 8 examples, 4 of them with common denominators, 4 of them with unlike denominators. So let's see what these all mean. So it says, make sure your fractions have a common denominator. Great, common denominator. So I'm just going to write that. I'm going to make one big fraction. And then it says, rewrite your problem, bringing everything to the top. That means this right here, I'm going to bring to the top, including this negative sign. So I'm going to say that's a -3 plus 1. Okay, and then I'm going to solve it using my integer rules. So denominator is just going to stay 7. I have -3 plus 1. My rule says when the signs are different, I subtract and keep the sign of the larger number. So -3/7 plus 1/7 equals -2/7. So let's try this idea again. Okay, common denominator. So I'm just going to say over 5. Then I bring everything else to the top. So I see a -2 plus another -2. Okay, and now I'm going to solve. So I really just have to solve the top. -2 plus -2. Signs are the same, so I add and keep their sign. I get -4/5. See how easy this is? All right, let's try again. Common denominator, those ones we like. So I'm going to keep 9. And then bring everything else to the top. So I have -5 minus 2. Hey, now, just like before, hey, I see subtraction. That means I need to LCO. That has not gone away yet. And yes, you still need to do that. So I have -5 plus -2. Okay, denominator stays the same. All the time, the denominator stays the same. So now I'm just going to use my integer rules. Signs are the same, so I'm going to add them and keep their sign. So -7 over 9. My answer is -7/9. Okay, let's try one more, subtraction. So common denominator of 12. I look at what I have left. I have -11 minus -5. Okay, remember, signs and operations come up to the top. Okay, subtraction. So I need to rewrite it again using leave, change, opposite. Okay, so signs are different. Different means I'm going to subtract. So 11 minus 5 is 6. 11 is larger, so it's -6 over 12. Now, I'm not done here because remember, it said simplify if needed. This one can actually be simplified. -6/12. Okay, I know 6 can go into both 6 and 12, so my answer is going to be -1/2 in its simplest form. Okay, so let's try this idea now with unlike denominators. So I'm going to look here, and I see 3 and 4, and I need to come up with a common denominator. So the first thing I'm going to do is just like you learned back in like 3rd and 4th grade when you were adding fractions with unlike denominators. We're just going to write it with a common denominator first. We're not going to worry about signs or anything else at this point. So I know 12 is a common denominator. So what did I do to the 3 to make it 12? I multiplied it by 4. So I need to do that same thing to the top. So 1 times 4 is 4. What did I do to the 4 to make it 12? I multiplied it by 3. So 1 times 3 is 3. Okay, so now I have common denominators. We're going to do exactly what we did up here. So I see a positive 4 plus, my negative sign, so negative 3. Okay. Now I'm going to use my rules. Signs are different. Different means I subtract and take the sign of the larger number. So my answer is 1/12. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, here I have 10 and 2. Okay, I know 10 is a common denominator of 10 and 2. It's a common factor of both 10 and 2. Common multiple, I should say. So this needs to change to 10. So I'm going to change this to 10. What did I do to the 2 to make it a 10? Well, I multiplied it by 5. So 1 times 5 is 5. And if you want to change it just like that, I'm okay with that. You change it how you want to. If you want to rewrite it like I did here, that's fine also. So now that I have a common denominator of 10, I'm going to do my top. So I have negative 9 plus negative 5. Okay, so I have signs that are the same, so I'm going to add them and keep their sign, so negative 14 over 10. Now remember, I do not want you writing mixed numbers. I want you to leave it improper. However, this improper fraction can be simplified. 2 can go into both 14 and 10. So I need to at least simplify my improper fraction. So 14 divided by 2 is 7, and 10 divided by 2 is 5, and I still need it to be negative, so my final answer is negative 7/5, and I really want you to leave it like that. Okay, so let's try this again. I have 5/14 minus 6/7. Okay, I need to come up with a common denominator. I know 14 is the smallest common denominator of 7 and 14. So I'm going to change this to 14. And I'm going to say 7 times 2 gave me 14, so 6 times 2 is 12. So again, I rewrite. My denominator stays the same. I'm going to look at the top. I have 5 minus, and we turn that into a 12. So 5 minus 12. Okay, subtraction. So you leave, change, opposite. Again, you're not ready yet to get rid of that, so please keep doing it. Okay, and then 14 stays on the bottom. Now I'm going to go ahead and solve it. On the top, I have signs that are different. And different means I'm going to subtract the numbers and keep the sign of the larger. So 12 minus 5 is 7. 12 is larger and it's negative. So I have negative 7/14. Ask yourself if you can simplify it. Of course we can. 7 can go into both 7 and 14, so that's actually going to become negative 1/2. Right, one more time. So I have 9 and 6, and I need to come up with the smallest common denominator. Okay, 9 and 6, so I'm going to start counting by 9s. 9, 18. Okay, can 6 go into 18? Yes, it can. So 18 is my smallest common denominator. I'm going to rewrite both of them with 18. This time I'm going to do it different. I'm going to rewrite the whole thing. Maybe that'll be easier for some of you. Okay, so I said 9 times 2 gave me 18. 4 times 2 then is 8. Minus, in parentheses, a negative. 6 times 3 gave me 18. 5 times 3 is 15. So we have the common denominator of 18. Now we're going to take everything and move it to the top. So I have negative 8 minus negative 15. Okay, denominator stays the same. I know I need to leave, change, opposite. My signs are different, which means I'm going to subtract, and 15 minus 8 is 7. and my denominator stays the same. So 7/8 is my answer. Oh, sorry, 7/18, my bad. Okay, so I need us to turn it to the back. And on the back, you see it says, you try. Okay, so I want you to try all of these. Now, you notice on the back, there's 4 of them that have 3. I'm going to do one of them with you, and then I want you to try the other ones on your own. Okay, so I'm going to choose this one because it has both addition and subtraction in it. Okay. So I have 10, 8, and 10. I need to come up with a common denominator. Okay, so I'm going to count by tens. So 10, 8 does not go into 10. 20, 8 does not go into 20. 30, 8 does not go into 30 evenly. 40, 8 does go into 40 evenly. 8 times 5 would give me 40. So I know my common denominator is going to be 40. Okay, so I have negative, and I look, 10 times 4 gave me 40, so 3 times 4 is 12. Plus negative 8 times 5 gives me 40. 5 times 5 is 25. Minus 10 times 4 gave me 40. 7 times 4 is 28. Okay, so again, I write down my denominator and bring everything to the top. So I see negative 12 plus negative 25 minus 28. So now it's kind of like a little bit of order of operations even in here. Okay, so I'm going to ignore the negative or the minus 28 for a second. So I have negative 12 plus negative 25. My signs are the same, which means I'm going to add them and get 37 and keep their sign. So I have negative 37 minus 28 all over 40. So all I did right there was this first step. Now I see subtraction, so I know I need to leave, change, opposite, all over 40. And I look, my signs are the same. Same means I'm going to add those numbers together. So 37 plus 28 is going to give me 65. And it's negative, because my signs are both negative, so my answer is negative. So negative 65 over 40. I know that I need to leave it as an improper fraction, but if I can simplify it, then I want to simplify it. So I need to think of a number that can go into 65 and 40, and that number would be 5. Okay, so 65 divided by 5, that gives me 13. And 40 divided by 5, that gives me 8. And if it was negative, it needs to stay negative. So my final answer is negative 13/8. So that's what you would do if it was 3 numbers. It's the same process. It's just a little bit of order of operations put in it. Okay, so these other 7 problems, I want you to try on your own. And then we are going to go over them together in class the next time I see you.